Hi, good morning everyone. How are you doing today? Today is a very nice morning and we are going to learn maths from unit 11. We are starting another new unit 11 about position, direction and movement from our student book page 228 to 239. And our objective is by the end of this lesson, you will be able to use language of position, direction, and movement. But first of all, before I start our lesson, I want us to go to the video and watch YouTube for more clarification. Please, I want you to pay attention, and if you can imitate what they are doing, I will be so happy so that you will understand better. All right, so let's go to our video and please listen carefully and follow instruction. Okay.
So, step 1. I can describe the position of an object or person. And I thought, you know what, to give us a bit of an helping hand, I brought on a little friend and his name's Greg. Some of you may have seen him before, and he's going to tell you how to remember the position of an object, something you should have learnt before you came to year 3, but just in case you need a little bit of a help remembering, Greg is here to give us a hand. Over to you, Greg.
Hi, I'm Greg, and I am above the desk. Now I am below the desk. Oh, it's gonna crush me! Here I am between the rock and the desk. I am between. Finally, I am behind my desk. And no, I am not a teacher. Although, maybe I used to be. Ooh.
So, step 2. I can make a whole turn. Now, what we mean by a whole turn is you're facing one direction, and all you do is turn right around so you're facing the same direction. So here's our little character, and his name's Henry. Okay, he's got a lovely smile on his face. And Henry is facing in this direction. Now, if we ask Henry to make a whole turn, it means he's going to turn all the way around until he faces in the same direction. So, why don't you and your partner have a go, okay? Make a turn, make a whole turn on the spot. A little bit like this. So, this is what we call making a whole turn. So I'm facing this direction, I'm now going to make one whole turn, like this. Okay, and I've made one whole turn. Ta-da! Alright, so now you made a whole turn, let's try the step 3, which is I can make a half turn. So half turn, and again, we're going to use Henry here as an example, is a little bit like this. Henry is currently facing in this direction. If we said Henry, can you make half a turn? He is on the spot. He is going to turn, okay, half a circle. But this time, Henry is going to be facing in that direction. Actually facing backwards. So why don't you ever go that with your partner? Okay, stand up, face one direction, and make half a turn, so you're actually facing backwards. Okay, it should look a little bit like this. So, number 2, to make half a turn, okay, I am facing this direction. Now this time, I'm not going to turn all the way around. I'm only going to turn halfway around, so it looks a little bit like this. And that is half a turn. I've turned exactly halfway round. So I'm now facing backwards. And I seem to be talking to a wall. Where have you all gone? Right, so step 4. I can make a quarter turn. Now, if you remember, and if you've done fractions before, a quarter looks a little bit like this. Okay, so you've got a circle, and a quarter looks a bit like this. And this here is a quarter. So if you imagine, when we ask you to make a quarter turn, instead of turning a whole turn, so that's a whole circle, you're only turning a quarter. So one way of showing you this. Okay, let's use Henry again. So Henry, as always, is facing in this direction. And we ask Henry, can you make a quarter turn for us? So Henry isn't going to turn a whole circle. He's not going to turn a half turn either. He's only going to turn a quarter. So he's actually going to be facing in that direction. Now, again, why don't you and your partner stand up, okay, and have a go at making a quarter turn. So actually, you should be either facing to your left, okay, or you should have turned. Now, this is a circle, okay. Now, usually if you ask to make a turn, we might ask you to turn clockwise or anti-clockwise. So, if we ask you to turn clockwise, it usually means, and if you were facing in this direction, it would mean you would turn to your right. So you would always be turning this way if we asked you to turn clockwise. So that usually means turn to your right. Okay. Now, if you were facing this direction, and we said to you, can you turn anti-clockwise? It would mean that you turn to your left, which means you would be going in this direction, and that would be anti-clockwise. Now, why don't you and your partner have a go? Okay, try turning clockwise, which means you turn to your right, and then have a go turning anti-clockwise, which means turning to your left. Okay, so making a clockwise turn, okay, means turning to your right. So currently the direction I'm facing is here, and I want to turn to my right hand side. So if you say to me, Mr. Walker, you need to make one whole turn clockwise, I'm going to make a whole turn going to my right first. So I'm going to turn this way. Okay? Now, if you say to me, Mr. Walker, you need to make one whole turn anti-clockwise, that means I'm turning to my left. Anti-clockwise means turn left. So, in this case, I'm going to make one whole turn going this way, okay, to my left. You might also say, Mr. Walker, could you make half a turn clockwise? So that means I'm going to turn to my right, but I'm only going to make half a turn. So it looks a bit like this. Okay, I've made half a turn clockwise, so I'm now facing the wall. Okay, same again. You could say, Mr. Walker, can you make half a turn anti-clockwise, which means I'm going to turn to my left. Okay, and I'm only going to make half a turn, so it looks a bit like this. So again, facing the wall, but this time I turn to my left. Okay, so now that you've had a go and you've learned how to make a whole turn, a half turn, a quarter turn, and you've learned how to turn clockwise and anti-clockwise, I think it's time for you to have a go with one of the activities at the station. So have a look.
Yes, now we're going back to our activity. So, can you stand up? Stand up. Now, if you understand the video, really you understand, please, can you turn clockwise? Okay, now, I want you to turn anti-clockwise. Anti-clockwise. Okay, so our simple instruction, we just have to follow the clock. Look at your clock. If you look at your clock, you'll be able to understand everything. So let's go back to our topic now. This is part 1. I'm going to prepare part 2, which we are going to follow from our student book. All right? Okay.